Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have announced that they have re-signed wide receiver Devin Thompkins and offensive lineman Brandon Walton, both to one-year contracts as they were exclusive rights free agents. So this means they're coming back on pretty cheap deals. I believe it is like veteran minimum type deals, something along those lines, and they are one-year deals because of all the exclusive rights free agent stuff that those things are involved in. But this is something that we've talked a little bit about whenever we've brought up potential players that the Buccaneers could re-sign. So it isn't really surprising as both Tompkins and Brandon Walton could be brought back as cheap depth overall. Firstly, in the case of Devin Thompkins, he's a guy that was used as really a gadget player last year under Dave Canales. He had 8 carries for 56 yards. He had 25 targets, 17 catches, 83 yards, and a touchdown as well. So while he wasn't necessarily a guy who was, let's say, a big piece of the Buccaneers offense, he still is a young, cheap backup wide receiver. I believe he's only going to be 24 years old as the upcoming season approaches. So again, he's a guy who has experience as a backup wide receiver, has experience as the Buccaneers' main kickoff and punt returner as well. He had 25 punt returns in the 2023 season, 16 kick returns as well, and honestly did better than what we have seen the past couple of years from returners, including Devin Thompkins himself. He was the returner during the 2022 season as well after Jalen Darden got released, and he did a much better job in this past season of 2023. So all in all, Devin Thompkins is a guy who is not just a cheap, in my opinion, reliable backup wide receiver, a guy who can at the very least compete for a backup wide receiver job. He's also a guy that has special teams value in the form of a returner as well. Now, will the Buccaneers bring in competition at the returning position? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. But if you are continuing to run a West Coast style of offense like Liam Cohen and, similar things to what he did with the LA Rams coming from the Sean McVay tree and also possibly what he did at Kentucky as well, then maybe we do see Devin Thompkins continue to get used in creative types of ways, much like what we saw in the Dave Canales offense. So pay attention to Devin Thompkins moving forward. Again, I always say this, you never know who's going to make an impact. In the case of Brandon Walton being brought back, Brandon Walton has been with the Buccaneers for the past couple of seasons, a local, player, so to speak. He's from Seminole, Florida, so he is a guy who, is homegrown, literally by definition. Brandon Walton's been a guy who's been in Florida basically his entire life. He went to college at FAU, then transitioned into the NFL and signed with the Buccaneers as an undrafted free agent. So this is, again, another move that I think is very good for the Buccaneers. It is something where you're able to get some really, really cheap depth in Brandon Walton. He's been with the team since the 2021 season, so this has been a couple of years for Walton. He had spent time with the Bills, spent time with the Steelers and Bills and Pittsburgh Steelers in 2020 and in 2021 before making his way over to the Bucs in that 2021 season as well. He was undrafted in 2020. Overall, we've seen some interesting things from Walton in the past. He did have to start at certain times whenever Donovan Smith was dealing with injuries, and he's had a bit of an up and down go throughout his NFL career so far up to this point. At the very least, I will say this, he is a young backup offensive lineman that can play either tackle position, can maybe move into guard if you need him to, and just has a lot of versatility that the Buccaneers really like to see in backup offensive linemen. We've seen this time and time again. The Bucs love guys who can play a lot of different positions, and versatility is really how you can define both Brandon Walton and Devin Thompkins as well. So, hey, congratulations to both these guys on getting some deals. We will see them in the upcoming training camp and whatnot, competing for backup roles in the offensive line and in the wide receiver room as well. And, hey, who knows? Again, you never know who can make an impact. We'll see what happens with both these players as their respective off seasons progress, as well as the Buccaneers off season as a whole. Would love to know what you guys think about these re-signings. Do you want to see Devin Thompkins used in a more creative way in the upcoming Liam Cohen offense for the Buccaneers? Do you want to see Brandon Walton, develop more as at left tackle, right tackle, guard? How do you view his versatility? Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions. I would love to hear them. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. And as always, guys, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.